Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She
Snap.
Oh yeah, this is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
No big deal, baby.
He's here, and I'm here too. And we're flying solo again. Finally, getting to the end of my crazy work schedule. Maybe we get some guests on here pretty soon. We don't have to subject them to ridiculous times and stuff. But you can find us in the illustrious Snap Judgments network of podcasts. Yeah. I can't talk right now. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. But yeah, you can find us with we got good old Joe, your good old Snap DJ with Snap Decisions podcast. We have the wonderful, the lovely Lauren Whatevs, Benjamin Roller, and it's just with Snap on this podcast, brand new podcast, awesome podcast, and the GOAT himself, Paul Splazer, with the Snap Judgments podcast, and Roy, of course. We can't forget Roy. But yeah. Let's and then we got our humble little podcast here, How Can She Snap, baby. But yeah, let's get into this week. We got Misery who came out, which I think took a couple people by surprise. I kind of didn't have high hopes for this card at all, and I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I thought. And then we actually have some Marvel Snap news. I feel like it's been, I don't know why, but I feel like it's been forever since we got to rant about an OTA. So probably only been a couple weeks, but my little reptile brain just doesn't remember back then. Doesn't remember what I had for fucking dinner last night. So
it's gonna be another hella rant today. Yeah. Or you did a hella rant 2 weeks ago. We're gonna have another fucking hella rant because they just keep trying me. They keep testing me with these horse shit OTAs.
The legendary rant from last week, which garnered a lot of traction from No Big Deal. Hopefully we can add on to it this week. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the OTA. We're gonna talk about Misery, and then there's a new little kind of controversy a little bit that's been unraveling before our very eyes in the Twitter universe, Marvel Snap universe. Secondary has also addressed it regarding splits and variants, and we'll talk about it a little bit. We don't really know too much because we're a couple of fucking idiots, but we'll do our best to give our opinion, and let's get it. Woo! No big deal. How the heck are you today, buddy?
I mean, I'm good. Real life, I'm feeling pretty good. We got Canadian Thanksgiving weekend coming up. That's always fun, long weekend. We get the Monday off, so that's hype. For Marvel Snap, I mean, they keep trying me with these hella changes. We had a fun combo meta, last week. And now we got freaking Darkhawk and Mildex just shitting all over that before they even do any OTA changes, thanks to Misery. It's not Misery's fault. Misery's a pretty cool card, but it is Darkhawk, Ronin, and freaking Mildex now out there. So I mean, good luck trying to play combo into that. So yeah, man. I'm as far as Marvel Snap goes, I'm having less fun this week than I did last week. Let's put it that way.
I'm doing about the same. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having a good time. Just trying new decks, new cards. It's pretty good. We'll get into some of the decks later, but Jet cooked up a fun little Toxic Venus Force deck, which I've been having some fun with.
I might have to try it. I think I'm gonna just hop on the PF train and just take my lumps, lose some games because the shit I was playing last week, the Scream decks, the little Venom decks. I mean, they're not having fun into this meta, and it's like, oh well, maybe I go play Hella. No, I can't play that now because the secondary fucking hates Hella apparently. So yeah, it's rough for me out here, right now.
Well, let's talk about what made it a little bit rougher for you. These OTA changes came today. Today is October 10th, so keep in mind we're recording on Thursday, the day this actually came out, so we haven't really played with this too much, so we don't know the full effect that that's going to be. So it'll be fresh, and we can give some obviously our opinions and talk about what we think is going to happen with the meta. But yeah, they a couple, I guess one head scratcher for me. I think I'll have a hot take on one of them for sure, but maybe an unpopular opinion. But let's get into it, man. We have the balance updates. There's some nerfs. There's some buffs. We got Zabu. We got the long-awaited Zabu change. Now, Zabu, everyone thought was going to be an activate. Zabu was a 2/3. on reveal until the end of your next turn, your 4 cost cards cost 1 less. Now Zabu is a 1/2, a 1 drop. Give on reveal, give each 4 cost card in your deck -1 cost. What do you think about this card here?
Well, to first start off with the activate thing, they would have probably had to move it to a 1 cost
Yeah,
anyway if they're going
yeah.
to go to activate, right? Because yeah, you're playing a 2/3 activate, then on you can't play your 4 on 3 because it's delayed a turn. So I mean, right off the bat, it kind of makes sense moving Zabu to a 1. I have always been a little skeptical of these deck effects, Like if you're hitting the whole deck now, as I just said, Age of Venom was broken last week, but Age of Venom 2/4 base power, whole deck is 4 power. Even if you just take one card, I mean, you get so much value off of Age of Venom. Zabu, I'm a little bit skeptical of this card, kid. I think the change is interesting. I kind of like it, I like the idea of it. I wonder if even just making them -2 cost would like like just go to the old Zabu effect, but it's in your deck, what if we do something like that, like if you wanted to try to make it viable. So again, I kind of don't hate the card design. I mean, it's a little bit a lot more inconsistent than before, right? I mean, you got to play this card, you have to draw it early, then you have to actually draw the 4 cost cards. Then even if you draw, like say you draw one reduced power 4 cost card, I don't think this is like really worth it. In that scenario, you'd have to probably play at least 2 to really get your value worth. I've heard some rumblings like, oh, you could play like Wiccan or something with it. I do like that idea. Like that's pretty cool. But like then it's like, okay, we're gonna have to put a bunch of 1 cost. So maybe like Wiccan Bounce, something like that. Because do you really want to play Zabu with Quicksilver? Like I've tried that in the past. Like it is a little clunky. You can do it, but you know, I don't know. I really don't want to play Zabu and Quicksilver in the same deck. So yeah, I think it's gonna be my prediction off the top without any testing is that I think it's not gonna be that good of a card. Right away. But I like the idea.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, and I want to say that like I haven't. I gave these like a really quick once over this morning. I didn't really think about it too much, so I'm gonna be kind of
No, me
like on the
either. Yeah.
fly. I haven't looked at anyone else's opinions. I've tried to I want to be objective. Um, Wiccan seems like a cool idea. Maybe just cut Quicksilver, and just like play Zabu and just fucking YOLO, But I don't know. I don't know what that.
You got to play a bunch of ones though
Yeah,
to
you gotta
really
have
do
like
that.
3 or 4,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
so I think that's gonna be the big problem with Zabu. Is I think we've talked about it on this pod before. Is like, and my feeling is that a 1 drop is such a tight slot, man. Like, you gotta
Mhm.
do a lot as a 1 drop. You gotta have so much value to the deck to be put in as a 1 drop because they can just get killed by Killmonger. Like they're just like, you know, traditionally like weak cards. Like now, could you?
You're limited on board space, right?
Yeah,
Clog's good. Like you want to be playing these like even a 1/4, 1/5. Like you're still limited on board space.
yeah. Like is he gonna be good in like a zoo kind of deck, like with Marvel Boy? And like you have like
Mm.
you can put tech like Shang-Chi. Kazar becomes a 3 cost, 3 drop or something. Maybe like I don't know. Could you do that? Like, I don't see the decks where like you're gonna put him in, and like you said, it's not reliable, which is the issue. It's great that it's a 1 drop, so you can just sprinkle him anywhere, but like you're playing a 1/2. If he misses, like he fucking sucks, man. If you draw
Yeah.
him on like last turn or like turn 4 or 5, like it kind of sucks.
Mhm.
And what you want is obviously if you draw him early, you get 2 4 drops that are 3 cost, and then that's like your nut draw on turn 6, right? That's why he was so broken before. It's because you're playing all these broken 3 drops or 4 drops on the last turn. Like Shang-Chi and Darkhawk when Darkhawk was a 4 drop. So yeah, I don't know if this is enough, but I do really like the change. I think it's a really cool, unique idea just to like change the deck. And I mean, I guess like I just want to see what kind of decks people cook with this, because maybe he'll be all right. Like maybe he'll be okay in some archetypes, which would be a fine thing for this card because he's basically nothing now. Like he's
Mhm.
basically a worse Psylocke now, honestly.
Yeah, it's a shitty Psylocke. Yeah.
So if he could be like like, is this even good in Mr. Negative decks? Like I don't know, maybe not, probably not.
I thought about that. Maybe. Yeah.
If you don't, but then you have to draw negative on turn 3. Like you just right? If he's in your
Maybe you
opening
build
hand.
it like some, negative Wiccan Wong, something like that.
Yeah.
Where then it's like it doesn't have to be negative. Could be, one. You get one of the three. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, that's what I mean.
Hmm.
Like, I think the possibilities are there's a lot because there's a lot of four drops, and when four drops were, we were preaching like how fucking broken four drops were, and then they nerfed Zabu, and then four drops all of a sudden became dog shit, except for Shang-Chi, basically.
Hmm.
So maybe he makes some of them better again. So it'll be interesting to see, honestly.
It's
Uh,
true. You bring up a good point with the play pattern. It's like, yeah, the more I think about it, I mean, we both said it already, but like, it's going to be really awkward. Like, even think about the last Zabu that, like you said, the shitty Psylocke. At least you get the classic Zabu on 2, 4 drop on 3, right? It's going to be almost impossible to pull that off with this new version. Like, this is a pure, like, you hope to play 2 on turn 6, right?
yeah,
Because, like, you have to draw this card on 1 or 2, and then the 4 drop you want to play has to not be in your hand, and then you have to like top deck it on 3. Like, so you have to play this on 1, either top deck your 4 on 2 or 3, or play this on 2 and top deck a 4 on 3 to even play a 4 drop on turn 3, which is like
yeah,
what Zabu kind of did, like the strongest thing.
yeah,
And it's like way harder, even with this, than the previous Zabu, the 2-3 one time, like, because that's just a Psylocke anyway. So, you could just play it on 2, play your 4 on 3 in your hand. It's already in your hand. You could see the line. So, I mean, this is like, I mean, the 4 drop on 3 is like, you may as well just play Psylocke if you're trying to do
yeah.
that.
And like, is it even like, I can't think off the top of my head, but is it even like a good thing to play like a 4 drop and a 3? Like, if you only get one on turn 6, like a 4 drop and a 3 drop on turn 6, is that even good? I don't know. I can't think. Maybe I'm sure there's some like niche scenarios that are good, but like the fact that I can't think of anything that's like mind blowing.
My brain goes to like Surfer or something. You could do like, I don't know, like a Killmonger or like a Surfer and Absorbing, for example.
Yeah, I guess you could do something like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Or, yeah, something like that anyway,
Yeah.
Shang-Chi,
Again.
Shang-Chi plus card plus 3 drop.
Yeah, but then like that's the thing. If you're a surfer deck, how many 4 drops are even in that deck ever?
Yeah, maybe
Right. Then
maybe
you got to
2.
be fucking lucky to draw Zabu early, and then have your absorbing man in your deck, then draw the absorbing man after you play Zabu. It's just I don't see it, man. Maybe some like Gwenpool shenanigans could be kind of cool for turn 5,
Yeah,
right?
and that's a Surfer card too. Yeah,
Like you
but
could
yeah,
play
not,
like
not like,
if you have like Gwenpool as a 3 drop is pretty cool, with a
mhm.
2 drop on turn 5, because there's
Yeah.
some good 2 drops in the game like we mentioned last week. Um, so I don't know. I really like the text change. I think the text is
Mhm.
cool. I think there's a cool spot for the card to be. I do agree with you. I think it's going to be a little bit weak. I don't think it's going to
Mhm.
be enough, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
we might have to just go to -2 cost. I mean, it might not be that bad, honestly. Like, especially where the game's at now, they've balanced a lot of the 4 drops,
I think -2
and
costs will be fucked.
but, well, but remember, like, remember Darkhawk was a 4 drop. Like,
Yeah,
the 4 drops was so busted. Like, they've balanced a lot of them out at this point, and a lot of the 3 drops that were shitty before, not only like new ones have been introduced into the game, but the old ones have gone up to like 3 5s, pretty normal now.
yeah,
Hydration Roberts, freaking 1 5. Like, there are other ways to get power in the game, and so maybe it would be okay if you just change this to -2 cost, because you still have to draw the card.
yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting anyway.
Sentry Viper turn 6 would slap.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's
That'd
interesting.
be pretty
Yeah,
cool. But again, like you
yeah, yeah.
have you have to like it's in my mind that seems like really hard to do.
Yeah, maybe in a deck like that, though, you put a card like Misery, like,
Yeah.
it's a clog deck, right? So you include, Misery. I don't know what other 4 drops would you put? Like Shang-Chi be good in a deck like that. So, maybe
I
you
don't
could
know.
jam 3 to 4 4 drops in a deck like that specifically, like a clog affliction type shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see with this card. I think I like the change overall. Like, so I like the change. I just think it's a little bit on the weak side, but I do like the
Yeah,
direction they're headed.
yeah.
Uh, do we want to do this one next, or do you want to save
No,
it?
no, it's okay. Let's yeah,
I'll
let's,
talk.
let's kiss this air. Let's get it over with.
Cow.
I'm just gonna get tilted if I know I gotta wait.
The hell cow. Who's a 4/6? Activate discard 2 cards from your hand. Now it's a 4/7. Activate. Discard a card from your hand. So basically, it's just a fuck you to Hella, without doing anything to change Hella the card itself. So this is gonna make Hella decks way more shit than they already are. Not that they already are. They were very good before. They were pretty good. Easy power. This just makes it like so that fuck. I don't even know if you want to play this card in Hella decks anymore. Honestly, maybe you do. As a 4/7, it's pretty good, a pretty good power. But yeah, this is shit on Hella decks basically.
Mhm.
No big deal. Just take it away, bud.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't here last week, you want me to give you the quick recap. They took a card called Hella, last OTA, so it's like 2 weeks ago, and it applied a -2 to all the cards it resurrects that she resurrects. And this Hella card was a shit card. It was not a good card. It was a bad card, and they had the geniuses over at the Second Dinner Balance team decided to leave their heads up their own ass. They didn't want to pull their heads out of their ass. They decided, guys, I got a crazy idea. Let me nerf a fucking bad card. I'm going to nerf a bad card. That's what they did in the last OTA with Hella. So now it's -3 to all cards. So you absolutely have to get your Luke Cage. It makes it less fun to play because it's less consistent, but it also makes it less fun to play against because Hella actually got a power buff. So the ceiling's actually higher. So you're still going to lose your fucking 8-cube game to Hella. And you're still going to get tilted, and there's still no interaction. Like, they didn't solve any of the problems. They just made the deck shittier, less fun to play, and less fun to play against. So great job on that, going, guys. You really knocked that one out of the park. That was 2 weeks ago. And the clear thing that they should have done 2 weeks ago, very clearly, was revert Hellcow or do something like this to Hellcow. So, like, this is great, but now Hella is still -3. So, like, you nerfed Hella, it's still a -3, and now this card right here is like, okay, sure, it addresses it, but you should have did this 2 weeks ago. Hella should be like a 6/5 -1 to every card it resurrects. It should not be -3 to every card it resurrects. The -2 was shit. So that, if anything, needed a buff, But like, okay, but then they release Hellcow, totally breaks the deck because it's absolutely busted in Hella. It's a ridiculous effect. And so, okay, now it's like the way I see it now is, I mean, Hella's just basically an unplayable deck now. Like, I don't know why you'd ever play Hella right now. Like, kid, you were saying I don't know if you play this. I thought about it. I think you still do. The 4/7 hits one. It's still a 4/7. Like,
Yeah, it's a
you
nice
play a
body.
4/7, even if it pops out of the Jubilee. You probably still do play this card in Hella. Like, I think it's still a good Hella card, but I don't know why you would even play the deck Hella right now. There's no point.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna just say like what I said originally about Hella. Like, I wish that they just made like fuck all the changes they've done to Hella. Just like revert her back and just make her a 6/0 or like a 6/1 or something.
Yeah.
You play like no power on the last turn. Like, sure, it doesn't bring back minus power stuff, but like you're playing a 6 fucking 0. It's a shit thing to do.
Yeah.
Like Arnim Zola is a 6/0, and he has like he can his ceilings fucking to the moon. No one complains about that card. Obviously it's telegraph, blah blah blah. Yes, we get it, but
So is Hella. I mean, Hella's telegraphed too, but I guess you can't counter it.
yeah, and you can't pick the lane, right? Like, it's easy to know what lane they're gonna Zola.
Yeah,
and you can just clog. But
true.
you can do it with Hella because you can clog. But still, like I wish instead of like they try to get cute with all these like changes, like it brings back minus power. Now we got to put Luke Cage in the deck. Blah 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 blah. Like, I wish they would have just nuked Hella's power and saw what happened. Maybe she would have been shit. I don't know. Maybe she would have been still broken. Then you could do the cute stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
But like,
that was kind of my original. That was my original thing with her.
I know. I agree with you.
Get the power on Hella, like she didn't need to be a 6/6.
Yeah.
That's still 6 power on the board, right? And that's the only power that the Hella player actually has agency, where they get to decide where it goes.
Yeah.
So like that power on Hella means something.
Yep.
They've since buffed that. It's at 7 now.
I
know. Which I think is stupid. And. Yeah, so I mean, here we are. I mean, I don't know. To me, I feel a little bit sad about this because if you asked me a year ago, What are my two favorite archetypes in the game? It's Lockdown and it's Hella. And both of those archetypes have been fucking gutted by the balance team over a second dinner. So, right here, guys, fuck you guys. You made me sad today. And this is a horseshit change. And please, just like fix it like you used to. When you used to fuck up and then you'd say, "Oh, we fucked up. We're gonna fix it again." They just left Hella at -3. Like, I don't know. It's a bit ridiculous. So whatever, I get it. People feel bad playing against it, but for me personally, it's an emotional thing for me. I'm not even being logical here. I'm sure the same thing. People who like to play Sandman, people who like to play Galactus, people who like to play Lockdown, they probably understand how I'm feeling, right? Where they just like, if you're a Sandman or a Galactus gamer, like they've nuked you out of the game too. And I'm joining the club right now. So
R.I.P. Pour one out. But yeah, I wish like they just would have not got so cute. Like I see all these things like, oh, Hella should only revive 2 cards, or should be 1 card per lane or something. And it's like, don't get all fucking complicated. Start with just nuking the power, seeing what happens, and going from there. But it's this whole whirlwind of fuckery, and I don't get it. So yeah. Anyways, this just like nukes the deck even more than it already has been. And have you seen Hella this week? Really, I haven't really seen that much.
No, because like I said, it's already pretty tough to play in the
right?
mill.
Like, yeah.
It's tough to play in the clog, which Misery's pretty good with clog. It's tough to play into mill, and it's really tough to play into Darkhawk. And even Ronin, people are playing Ronin now. Like people are unironically playing the card Ronin right now. So like, imagine having a bunch of Master Mold like Sentinels in your hand. And you're trying to play a Hella deck. Like it's pretty tough. So like it's already been naturally fixing itself, and yet they go and do this bullshit. So it's just they're just brain dead when it comes to Hella. They're pretty good when it comes to everything else, honestly, but just the Hella changes are absolutely, they've been brain dead the whole time, and they continue to be. This is it's a good Hell Cow change, honestly, but it's too little too late. You've already nuked the card Hella. Like, so this would be a fine Hell Cow change with like the -2 Hella, or maybe a 6/5 -1 to everything, or like you said, just a 6/1 or a 6/0, something like that. Then I would be fine with it. But we are where we are, and I don't like having to put Luke Cage, having to draw the Luke Cage, having to play the Luke Cage or discard it. It's just stupid, man. It's just a dumbass play pattern. It's not fun. It's not fun to play against. And so I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. They really fucked you here. Yeah, but so we'll get into the next change here because that was a little spicy one there. The Widow's Kiss. So White Widow, one of the most fucking broken and best cards in the game, probably. Like we talked about.
This is a big one.
We talked about last week. I think they fucking nuked this card pretty hard. This is a pretty big fucking spanking this card got. And I don't know I think the future of this card, I don't know what it's going to hold, honestly. Like I need to play a bunch of games to see if it's even good anymore. So the Widow's Kiss is what they specifically nuked. So White Widow is still a 2/2. And the old Widow's Kiss was a 0/0 ongoing. This card has -3 power. Disable this ability if your side of the location is full. So basically, White Widow would shoot a Widow's Kiss across the other side, and you have this 0 -3 thing that you had to fill up your board, or you had to fill up that location, and then it would turn into a 0 power thing, basically. So it was a nice little clog or whatever. Fucking broken card. We get it. It was a really good card.
Yep.
This new Widow's Kiss is a 0 -4. Destroy this when your side of this location is full. So I don't think you could play this in clog anymore. You can't play this in clog decks because you're going to be clogging it and you're going to destroy your own Widow's Kiss. I think it's just got to be like just a nice little mid-range deck. I don't know if you play it in like decks with armor, I don't know how many of those decks are floating around. I saw one in the Filthy Casual, what's it called, in the Alliance chat. I saw
Molt was playing one too. Shout out to Molt.
Oh, I haven't seen him in a hot minute.
He's been posting Marvel Snap. He came up on my algo there, and he was playing a clog deck with armor. So there you go. Maybe it goes in that.
Yeah, and then I don't know if like this. I really think that Red Guardian is cope. Because you play this, then you can play Red Guardian right after it. You're not gonna want to do that. That's kind of, I
It's a
don't know.
lot of work to
Yeah,
do what you could have just paid 2 energy
I
before to
think
do.
that's a cope play. Like, so I
I
don't know.
agree.
Like, I think this doesn't go in clog decks anymore. I don't think it can, because essentially when you clog them, you're destroying it, and then you're unclogging them. So I think it'll be an annoying card, but at the end of the day, like it's gonna be a 2-2, and it's not that hard to make it a 2-2, especially with like Kitty Pride or something, and like then it just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know if this is good anymore. Honestly, this seems
Yeah.
harsh.
I
This seems
mean,
very harsh to me.
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. I think it's extremely
And
harsh.
let me say one thing before you go. Like
Yeah.
I understand this card needed to be nerfed. I
Yes.
like it should have been nerfed. It was too strong.
Mhm.
I think this is a lot. This is fucking a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I was gonna start with that actually because we just did a 2 cost tier list. If anybody missed it, go check out the pod last week. It was like a 2.5 hour pod because we did an hour long 2 cost tier list, and pretty much there was no argument that this was the best 2 drop in the entire game. Even at the new nerfed, because it was a -4 to it used to be on release, and then they nerfed it to a -3 on the Widow's Kiss. So even this nerfed version was, me and the kid really didn't argue at all of just simply putting White Widow at number 1 2 drop in the game. And I was even saying, hey, the card has a very real argument for being best card in the Marvel Snap period. Any cost. I think it did. I think it had that argument. So definitely needed to be nerfed. But yeah, they might have just killed this card. I mean, this thing might be completely unplayable now. I mean, remember we were talking about Daredevil was a 2-2. I think I'm pretty much always gonna want Daredevil over this shit. Like,
Yeah.
if I put a kiss over there, it's just probably gonna die anyway. Like, give me the Daredevil. Like, I'd rather just like get some value out of my 2-2. Like, see what they're doing on turn 5. Like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna play this card now. Like, even in a storm game, like you could still fill up a storm lane. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, so is it so it's still back to -4. So I mean the ceiling is 2-6, but man, it's like this card. You know what this card reminds me of, kid? This is kind of like Lizard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's a 2-6, but Lizard's a 2-5 that goes to a 2-1. This is a 2-6 that goes to a 2-2. So it's like maybe slightly better than Lizard is kind of where we're at now. And I don't play Lizard in any decks.
He was
And
in dog shit tier.
yeah, Lizard was a dog shit card, and let's put it this way: Widow's Kiss on dog shit watch. Fully dog shit watch, baby.
Yeah, man. Like this card, I don't know, man. This is like I don't know. I really liked White Widow as a card. It was really cool. Like just the fact that you could actually clog them.
Mhm.
I wish they would have taken power off her, maybe, because like a 2-2
Yeah.
fucking sucks. Like look at Grandmaster; it's got a damn good effect, which is repeat and on reveal, which is like, on reveal are some of the most powerful effects in the game. And then he got a fucking buff this OTA, which we'll go over. But like he was a 2-2, and like he was shit, not shit, but like he was not good, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, they fucking nuked this card as far as I'm concerned. But we'll see. Like if you can like repeat her effect, like destroy her, like with Misery, like I don't know, like I know Misery will shoot another thing off, and then you'll destroy. No, it's kind of shit with Misery. You can't really do that stuff.
Yeah, they just killed both, and you just made it easier to kill them off.
Yeah, with
Misery,
Grandmaster, like I don't know. I'm saying if you like Phoenix Force it back or something like that, something stupid in another lane, but like I don't know, whatever. It's like it's I don't know. This might be a bad card now, which is sad because it was a really cool card, cool design. Like
yeah, and I just picked up that sick variant too, and I was really enjoying playing.
Yeah, and
and
so yeah, it's just like what else? Like, is it gonna work? Like, oh, you can't win on Bar Sinister, Bar Sinister anymore, right? It's not like an auto win because it'll just destroy everything.
I guess it'll work on Space. No, Space Throne won't work either because it'll just die.
That's what I don't know if Space Throne if it works with that.
I think it'll die, but let's read. Add a Widow's Kiss, Widow's
Just
Kiss.
saying there.
Destroy this when your side of location's full. Yeah, so it will be full. So I think it's gonna die on
Well,
Space Throne.
the stupid alliance quest that says fill all location, Space Throne cucks you.
Oh, yeah, that one that must be a bug with
I
the
mean, it does say
quest.
four times, four times, four times on the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So I don't know. That's what I mean. Like I don't know. There's ambiguity in the Space Throne. I think it should destroy it because it's you filled that location, but I don't fucking know.
yeah, yeah. I think it'll destroy
It'll
it.
still be pretty fucking sweet for Luke's bar, but like you're not gonna play White Widow for Luke's bar gaming.
Yeah, Death's Domain, right? But yeah,
Yeah, maybe with Storm and that kind of stuff, it'll be okay. And maybe it'll just be like annoying enough where they have to kind of like play a bunch there. But like I don't know. It's yeah, I don't think so. I think this card kind of sucks now.
yeah. Imagine if like the Guardians like had really good stats. Maybe you could play this in like a Guardians deck. Because like you put the Widow there, it's like they gotta play here now. Got him.
That's true. Yeah, maybe still just
Those
do that.
Guardians that cards are dog shit, so it doesn't matter.
Oh god. All right. They nerfed Viper. Viper was a 3-5. Now Viper's a 3-4. All right, no big deal. You start here because I got some stuff to say.
I mean, huge clog nerfs. I mean, it's pretty crazy. The Widow, the White Widow is especially a massive nerf to the card Titania, right? Who, she really does rely on her support. Like Titania on her own is a really tough card to play. Probably not great, right? But Titania was phenomenal with White Widow. Like obviously the Green Goblin combo is a classic, but you don't always get Titania Green Goblin. So just playing Titania White Widow was fantastic, and that's just been removed. So Clog has been hit massively. I mean, I don't know if people are complaining about it, but I mean, it's been really good anyway. So, top tier deck, like, yeah, getting rid of, I mean, their best card, White Widow. And now Viper to a 3-4. I feel like this change is unnecessary. I don't think Viper was broken at a 3-5. I thought she was totally fine. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, this just seems unnecessary to me. I wouldn't have done this. This would just been a change that I straight up did not do if I was the Marvel Snap Balance team. But it's they want to nerf Clog, one of the best decks in the game. Basically Clog and Hela getting massively targeted in this OTA, which I get. I mean, 2 weeks ago, which I guess they're on a 2 week delay with the metagame on these OTAs. Those were like the best decks in the game, so I guess they got to nerf them now.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm surprised you said that because like I thought I was gonna have I thought that was gonna be a hot take for me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the need for this nerf to be honest with you. And now it could just be because I play a lot of like Carnage and Venom in the decks that I play. But even when I don't play those kinds of decks, like your little Venom deck, it's the one I went up to fucking Infinite with. In the 80s and 90s, like I wasn't bothered by Clog too much. Like it is what it is. Like I wouldn't think like someone played a Viper. I'm like, okay, shit, they Vipered me. I wasn't like, oh fuck, they fucking Vipered me. Like holy shit, this is broken. It's 5 power. Like what the hell? Like I get like 5 is a premium stat line for 3 drops, but like this is such a niche card that they really like. And I've ranted about this before. They really fucking screwed Viper over in the end of last year. Almost a year ago now, they just made her a 3 for no reason at all. Oh, for the Havoc cope, fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like a thing that didn't even fucking work. Well, like fucking stupid. One of the stupidest changes they made is fucking Viper and then the Soul Stone. But I digress. Like, there's no need for that change, and like they just already are on a fucking tirade here nerfing Clog. Like, White Widow is one of the main cards, and they nerfed that. I don't think Viper needed to be nerfed, honestly. Like, I thought 3-5 was okay. I don't think it was that oppressive. You're not playing Viper in any other fucking decks. So like if this was like a 3-5 with a good ability, like Viper's ability is great, don't get me wrong. If this was like a good ability that you could like play in many decks, then I'd say yeah, okay, come on. Like it needs to be like a 3-4. Like it's fucking really like Nocturne, Copycat, which is still 3-5, but still I don't know. I don't think it was necessary, but sure. I don't know how much is going to change, honestly, but like 3-4 just feels dirty, just feels bad.
Yeah, I wasn't really basing it. I mean, by the way, I love the Havoc rant. That was great. But
Yeah, fuck that, man. That's bullshit.
But I didn't really base my opinion on playing against it, like how it felt playing against it. I'm more saying like if I'm the guy playing the clog deck, I've played a good amount of clog. Um, Viper doesn't feel like one of the strongest cards in the deck to me. Anyway, feels nice, but it's very combo reliant. And it's nice, kind of when you're in a clog mirror, it feels a lot better, I guess. But it's still going to work the same way. So just hitting the Viper is a little bit weird. Like I think Kate Bishop would, if I think clearly White Widow was the best card in the deck, and they just completely nuked her. I think that's probably enough. You take the best card in the deck, and basically nuke it and make it not even a clog card anymore. That's probably enough to keep these clog decks in check to me. But I guess they want to hit Viper too, which is a little weird. I think Kate Bishop would have been the one, and maybe make the Acid Arrow 0 power. Like then it's an actual reasonable card. Except instead of a -2, I mean it's absolutely ridiculous that card's a -2. Acid Arrow is completely busted. So that would have been the change if I wanted to do another clog change. I would have put Acid Arrow to 0. This is just a little bit weird.
Yeah, this is weird. I wish they would have just left it alone and saw, what the problem with these OTAs. Like I know sometimes they do go back and they change it, but I feel like this is one that they're not going to go back and change. They're going to be like, all right, we got rid of Clog, and that, I wish they would have just done the White Widow change and saw what happened to Clog, and then kind of if they needed to take a power off Viper later on, they could have. But I don't think Viper's ever going to get this fucking power back, if I'm being honest with you, which is why I'm a little more pissed off about it than I am normally. Like that I would have been, if it kind of like happened in a couple weeks. But
yeah, I mean, I feel the same way with the Hella stuff. It's like instead of hit Hella last week, like let's revert Hellcow and see how Hella is then, instead of nerfing the Hella card again, which is just so ridiculous. And it's weird. It feels like they think that people are playing White Widow for the power. Like the way they're like doing these changes, it's not like, was anybody playing White Widow for her fucking stats? Like I don't think anybody's playing the card for stats. Like everyone's playing it to clog the lane.
Yeah.
So like it's just a little bit weird that it's like, oh, it's a put back to a -4. It's like she could be a 2/6. It's like, bro, I could play like Morbius. He's like a 214. I play Daggers like a 240. Like what? I don't care that she's a 2/6. I care that she's clogging my opponent.
Yeah, and kind of like the one cool thing that they had with her, they got rid of, right? Because it's not hard to fill up the lane. Like you play it like on turn 5 or 6, you just like destroy the thing. Like great, then your lane's not full. You still have a slot there. Like you kind of White Widow. Fuck, man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And it's kind of sad for the people that like rolled, like, was it last week? Was people that never had White Widow? They had one good week with the card.
Yeah, we just had it in the cache finally, right? People are probably waiting for this card,
Seriously, it's one of the best cards in the game. I kind of feel bad for the people now. I think about it. That's fucking greasy of them to do that.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's
1 week. Yeah. 1 week. It was one of the best cards in the game. Like we got it right away. So like I didn't even think about that until now. I'm like, oh man, fuck, like. These people have just got White Widow and like you're having so much fun. Oh, that's probably why White Widow just came out and they just like everyone's just been fucking greasing up Clog with White Widow.
No, the stats probably just went totally. Yeah. It's like the stats were already good, but the play rate wasn't that bad. But that's just because people didn't have White Widow.
Yeah. That's probably what happened.
Oh god.
I don't know. Anyways, Clog. We'll see what happens with the Clog in the future. But it got hit pretty hard here. All right, so they made some kind of like I guess kind of quality of life updates with a.
Well, I want to say, speaking of cards, people just fucking spent their hard-earned tokens on. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're gonna just hit Scream a week after it comes out. This is actually pretty ridiculous too. I'm not a fan of these OTAs, honestly. The buffs are sick, but what the fuck, man? Shit.
This is kind of a weird change. And well, it's not like a weird change because it makes sense. Like this just should have been there all along. But like now they're like keeping it in line with like text and other cards, and it like feels fucking bad that they're doing this now after the cards just came out and you're like having fun playing with these cards. And for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, I should probably read the change. So Kingpin, Scream, and Fisk Tower, they no longer affect unrevealed cards. So basically every card in the game that moves something, unless stated in its text, it doesn't move them if they're flipped down. So like they made this change, I don't know what, 6 months ago or so. Like Spider-Man used to move unflipped cards, like stuff like that. Now
Mhm.
I think Juggernaut, is Juggernaut the only one? Does Stegron move unmoved cards? I don't know, or unflipped cards. I don't
No,
remember.
Stegron
I
doesn't.
think Juggernaut might be the only one. Maybe there's
Yeah,
another one that I'm forgetting, but Juggernaut.
no, it's
Um,
Jug. Yeah,
yeah, if you play a card, like if you're playing cards and you don't have priority, they play a Juggernaut. Your unflipped cards move across the board. It other before today, Kingpin would still smack them and they would lose power, and Scream would still smack them and steal the power. Fisk Tower would smack them and lose the power, or shoot him and move the power and remove the power. Now that doesn't happen because Kingpin, Scream, and Fisk Tower never specifically said in their text that they affect unrevealed cards, which is the change they made like 6 months ago. They said they were going to do this kind of stuff, and they should have
hmm
just addressed that then, and then it would have
yeah.
been, this wouldn't have been a big fucking shock.
Before Scream came out, they really should have made this clear.
They should have done it
Because
six
then
months ago when
people,
they made the fucking
yeah,
change. Like they changed all the
yeah,
text of everything. Why not just do
yeah,
it then? So now
yeah,
people spend their fucking resources on Scream, and it's like one of the best combos was throwing fucking Jug and
yep.
getting that extra buff on Scream and
Mhm,
Kingpin, and in
mhm,
in a deck that's like not the best fucking deck, right?
mhm.
And now it just got a lot fucking worse. And
Yep.
to compensate, they gave Scream 1 point power,
That's my main
even
issue with
even though it takes away 4 power from Scream,
it.
right? Because you Jug,
Yeah.
it takes 2, and then Scream gets 2. So
Well, yeah, I mean, we're probably not even playing Jug in the deck anymore, which is brutal. Like, I mean, Juggernaut's one of the only good cards in the deck. There's like three good cards in that deck, and Juggernaut's one of them. And like, come on, it's like Cannonball, Juggernaut, like Scream. That's it. All the other cards are kind of bad. Like.
yeah, like I can't argue with this change because it just makes sense. Like they're making everything more consistent. The game needs to be more consistent. They've made it very clear they want it to be easy, consistent, and all the weird interactions. RIP old Phoenix Force deck, which I fucking loved. All the
Mhm.
weird, stupid interactions that made no sense. They're slowly getting rid of all of them. They did address this 6 months ago. Why they didn't change this then, I don't know. They're changing it now after Screen came out, and a
A week after.
a week after, they just last spotlight caches, they just fucking
Oh,
nuked.
you can go get Misery.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. I don't know, man. What do you think about this?
No, I think you outlined it really good there. I mean, I don't mind that they're doing the QOL, make it simple for everybody, especially for new players. It's good for new players come in, like you don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, for me, I feel like shit because I love doing the Juggernaut into the Kingpin specifically. Kingpin hits everything. So that's my main issue with this. It's not even the Scream, not even taking 4 power away from Scream. Scream doesn't actually need any buffs or like Scream's insane card regardless of this change or not. It's Scream is ridiculous, but Kingpin is not that good of a card. I mean, let's just be honest. Like like I like it. I play it. But it's a 1/2. It conditional 1/4. You hope they don't play a Luke Cage. You hope they don't play a Killmonger. You hope they don't play a Shadow King. And then it has a ceiling. Juggernaut's one of these cards that really gave Kingpin a ceiling because you could move like 2, 3 cards in the same turn into the jug lane. Now you got like a 112. Now you're cooking, right? But that's rare. It rarely happens. And it's just one of the main enablers of Kingpin is moving face down cards into the Kingpin lane specifically. So taking that away, it's the same thing with the Hellcow change where it's like, okay, we reverted that, but we left Hella with a -3 to everything. It's like we take that away, but we gave Scream 1 fucking power. We gave Hellcow 1 power. Like Kingpin, it just got like -8 on him. You know what I mean? Like Kingpin is the biggest nerf here, and they should at least give Kingpin a 1/3 or something. Like how this doesn't come with a Kingpin buff and they buff Scream instead. What is crazy to me? Scream's already cracked. Like Scream doesn't need a buff. Like so. Yeah, I don't love this. I don't think it's enough. Like you said, the deck's already kind of bad to begin with. I mean, not bad, but it's like fine deck, but not a tier 1 deck, not a top tier deck. And hitting it, Juggernaut, one of the best cards in the deck. Juggernaut's just a good card in general. and giving one power as compensation. I don't think it's enough, and the deck just got worse, and it really can't afford to be getting worse.
Well, yeah, exactly, and like that's the sad part is just to piggyback on your points, like Kingpin. I bet if we made a one drop tier list, this fucking card would be in dog shit tier. Let's just be very honest and clear about that. It would. Like it's been a shit card forever. It's never been playable ever. The most playable it's ever been has been like right now.
Yeah.
And then there was like a month or like a couple weeks where there was some like Cope Kingpin deck, but let's be honest, that was shit. The most playable Kingpin's ever been is now, and they just took all that away. They took a lot, not all of it. They took a lot of it away. Yeah, for no reason. And the fact they didn't buff Kingpin is kind of ridiculous. Actually, you make a good point. Like, why not just give Kingpin the Juggernaut tax? Just say like and includes unflipped cards. Sure, there you go. Then it's fine, right? Like he's still bad. Like he's still not a great card. Like it's just I don't know.
Or -3 or a base power buff, like something like Kingpin needed the love, man. Just like Craven needed the love, and I don't even know if that one power was enough to save the Craven. So Kingpin was right there with Craven. Like they're very similar cards, similar power level, and giving Scream one power does absolutely nothing here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah. While I do agree with this change, I think it's dumb they didn't they should have given Kingpin a little more love, man. Poor card sucks. All right, we have
it's a Craven nerf too, by the way, which is already kind of on dog shit watch.
Wait, why is it a Craven nerf?
Because you could jug into the Craven.
Craven still goes, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, Craven will still go up. Okay, yeah. So it's just negative affliction only.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Does Scream go up when you move a face down card? Does it say there?
Not anymore. It used to, but now it won't.
So maybe Craven won't now too.
Craven's not in there.
What if a face down card goes into the Craven lane? Does he go up?
I think he does. Yeah, I think anytime Craven does, like anytime a card moves, Craven goes up.
Oh, because he's face up.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess he's face
up.
No,
but so Kingpin's face up, and Kingpin won't get cards.
Yeah, Kingpin doesn't get buffed though. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's afflicting the he's afflicting the face down.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because it's affecting Craven that he can get the buff because he's already face up. Yeah.
Okay, so Craven, never mind. Craven's the same. Then.
Yeah, if Craven was face down and a card moved in the Craven lane, Craven does not get buffs.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at it is like it's maybe a shadow nerf to Craven because like maybe now we're taking Juggernaut out of the deck. That's hurts Craven too, and it's already hard to run the Craven. So yeah,
not with White Widow now.
Yeah.
All right, Grandmaster, another 2-drop that was underperforming. Was a 2/2. They gave Grandmaster a point of power here. I like this. I like this. I think Grandmaster is a cool card. One I was really excited for. I think it came out in like January or something like that. And it's just a cool card that's just been criminally underperforming. And even at 2/2, he was okay. It was still fun to throw in other decks. What was he before? Was he a 2/0?
2/0.
Yeah, we still messed with him in like Ravona decks and stuff. We still did that shit, which was fun. He's always been a fun card, but not very good. A 2/3 is a nicer body at least. So maybe he'll be okay. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love the way they handled Grandmaster in the grand scheme of things. We talked about it on the first buff, so my opinion hasn't changed. Grandmaster was a 2/0. You could do some kind of funky things with him, like play him in like a Mr. Negative deck, for example, or play him, of course, with Ravona, which was Ravona was a 2/3 back then. So they kind of took away a Ravona card, which I know they don't balance the game like that, but end of the day, like Grandmaster was a shit card at a 2/0, so like we had to have some sort of enabler to make him playable. It's like putting Havoc in like a deck without Ravona. It's like, why would you do that?
You're not going to.
Yeah, so it's like he kind of needed that, and they took it away, and what they gave him was 2 power to make him a 2/2. So it's like, okay, what are they trying to make him like a good card? Like, is this supposed to be a good card now at a fucking 2/2? So my complaint back then was I wish they would have tried it at a 2/1. And just to see, because it's like, okay, it's 1 more power. Maybe you get Prio in an empty lane, because he's moving the card, right? Yeah. So maybe he stays and you get Prio like in the far right lane or something, for example. And we could play it with Ravona and maybe with Mr. Negative, and he gets a power. So rather than even attempt to put him at a 2-1, they just put him at 2-2, which I didn't like. And now I think like this is kind of the predictable thing. Like I pretty much knew it was going to be the same bullshit. It was a 2-2, a 2-0, and now it's like okay, it might actually be finally a good card. Like so they got there eventually, but I don't like the road they took to get there. You know, I wish we would have went 2-1. And it's like, okay, if it's still dog shit at 2-1, even with Ravona, even with negative, now we go to a 2-3. But moving to a 2-2 was kind of dumb. And 2-3 is basically just a 2-2, but just one more power, right? Like there's no combos. So I think it's probably a decent card now, honestly. Like this is a playable card, I think. You put it in your Darkhawk deck, you put it in your mill deck, and rock and roll. I'd be put it in a Cerebro 3 deck with Valkyrie,
Yeah. I think, yeah, there you go. It's pretty sweet. The Cerebro 3, I'll never play that deck, but yeah, I like it. They took an underperforming card, they made him better. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty decent at a 2-3. I'm excited to see what he does, honestly. He's got a lot more splashable in a lot of decks now,
Definitely.
Especially since they nuked White Widow. So this might be a card where people are thinking like, hey, maybe I'll play this card, in my deck.
Yeah, but I would say Nuke and White Widow is actually a big nerf to this card as well. It's one of the best White Widow targets in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, old White Widow, anyway.
Yeah. All right. Next one, Emperor Hulkling. This poor card that they, he was.
I don't know what they're doing in this OTA kid. Did they get like the backup OTA team? Like, it's like the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves, like where they bring in the fucking backup to play. Like, what's going on? Like, what? Emperor Hulkling to 12 power. Get the fuck out of here, man. This is ridiculous. This is a terrible change.
That's why I couldn't even read it. I'm reading. I'm like 6'11". I'm like to 6'12". Okay. What are they doing?
Is Glenn on vacation? Can somebody call Glenn? Where is he at? Like, find that man. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, I don't know, man. This card is still going to be shit.
Yep.
Still going to be shit and not played. 6'12", sure. Like, you can argue, like, okay, Vanilla Hulk is a 6'12". Vanilla Hulk doesn't have any downside, ever. Vanilla Hulk only has upside. Emperor Hulkling does have some pretty fucking sweet upsides, like game-winning upsides. So I guess you can make that argument. But he also can be like have like depressing downsides, which you're not even gonna ever play him, like Destroyer or something, right? Like, so I guess it's just about what power level is this? I would have liked them to start at 613, to be honest. Maybe 612 does something. I really don't think so. I think this is kind of a dumb change, honestly, but they're trying to be conservative, I guess. So I don't know. Do we give them a benefit of the doubt? Oh, what they say here? Fuck, we said this. We know 5-cost power is a popular request, but that version of the card was in particular too strong. We're gonna stick at 6 costs and find more fun with more power. Man, make it a 5. Make it a lower power or 5-cost card, man.
Yeah.
What are they doing? It was too strong. Make it a 5/5 or something. Fuck,
yeah, 5/8.
He's better than Adam Warlock. I'll tell you that right now. That card's a 5 So I play Hulkling at 5/5 over Warlock any fucking day of the week. So yeah, let's just get that fucking straight. I don't know. What do you think? No big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, I talked about Vanilla Hulk on the first release of this card. The thing at 4/6 is dog shit. It's a dog shit card. I don't care that it's the vanilla stat line.
Yeah.
Like, this is meaningless to me. It doesn't matter. That card is dog shit. It's not playable. It's a 4/6 that does fucking nothing. And that's true with 612 Hulk. 612 Hulk goes in 0 decks. Even Patriot. It's, you got Buffalo with Patriot. The only deck is you have to put a high Evo. That's like a different card. We're talking about high Evo Hulk now. And they could always balance that with the high Evo knob. If Hulk's power gets too big. So, I mean, I think Vanilla Hulk should minimum be 613. And I think Hulkling should go to 614. And you think, well, Giganto's a 14. Why the fuck is Giganto a 14? He should go to 15, Like, Giganto sucks. Like, he's only good in Hella. Like, Like, so, I don't know. Like, I think we just moved these cards up. I've said it with Agatha, too. Now, they did a pretty cool Agatha change that I didn't even think of. So, shout out to them for that. But, yeah, I mean, these cards are too small. Just, like, Infinite's in the game. Like, there's a 620 in the game, Like, Well, let's not forget that, So yeah, I think it's going to do absolutely nothing. I think this card still sucks, and I would love to see it, like you said, minimum 13. Honestly, I think it should be a 614.
I maintain that I like Giganto at a five drop. Like if you're making all these like you're buffing all these cards, like the power creep's already fucking real. Like you're power creeping them a little more. Like Hulk, it needs to be like at least a 13. Like Giganto should be like a 512. Honestly,
Yeah, if you're worried about
512,
Hella, just make him a 512. Then he's shittier in Hella, but then you might actually play him left once in a while.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a pretty restrictive. God forbid there's one horrible location on the left, and you can't even fucking play the card. He's shit 6 drop. They really should, and they really should just revert like the old High Evil Hulk to be like he got pretty ridiculous too. It was awesome.
Well, they could do say they buffed Hulk to a 613, right? Then they could do old Hulk effect, but +1 instead of +2, something like that. So it'll kind of equate to the same thing. It doesn't have to go +2 every time, every skip. Could be a 614 and gets +1 every skip, but also in the deck like the old one.
Yeah.
Something like that would basically be a 617, 6718 Hulk, same as before.
Yeah, I just don't see this change yielding like this buff yielding him being played any more or less than he already has been. The people that have Hulkling in their decks are still going to play him in their decks. People that didn't have him in the decks, I don't think this is compelling enough to be like, oh, I should maybe try Emperor Hulkling in my deck now. No. Just no.
Yeah, it's weird. They're like so harsh on some of the changes, and then this is just so light, like it's like weird. There's no consistency. Like the White Widow change, like kill her now, put her in the ground.
Yeah.
And it was like a little power to a 611, it's like what the fuck, man? That's not gonna do shit.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's not like it could copy Iron Man or something. Like it doesn't matter. It's not a Black Panther. I guess that's why the 5 drop, right? You got like Tiger, Iron Man, Black Panther. You get all these crazy.
No. Make him a 5 cost that could still copy 6 drop.
Oh, copy 6 drops. Oh, that'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't even think that's what they're talking about in the paragraph. They probably had a 5 that copied 5s.
Oh, keep his text the same, but make him a 5 drop.
Yeah,
and then just balance the power.
Yeah, let's just do that.
That'd be cool. It's a 5 drop that can have the abilities of 6 drops, which would be kind of cool. But it's random, so that'd be a cool card.
I think we should do that, and we should stop this nonsense. Stop the nonsense. Like let's make the shit cards good.
Yeah,
or they've been out long enough. Vanilla Hulk's been out long enough. Giganto's been out long enough. Let's pump these shit cards.
The Thing, which they nerfed.
Yeah, the Thing.
They nerfed him.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Oh my god. Yeah, they nerfed the High Evil version.
Yeah, they nerfed this shit card.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. All right, and then we have the biggest change of all. We have.
I mean, this is a good change.
We have Okoye, 2/2 up to a 2/3. Yeah, she was definitely. Was she in our dog shit tier? She had to have been.
Oh yeah.
There's no fucking reason. There's no reason.
She was deep into the dog shit.
Okay, good. I thought like for me, she's 100% dog shit. I know you play her sometimes. So I don't know if you had.
Yeah, you thought maybe I would argue, but I didn't argue with you.
Yeah, no, she was completely. Dog
I know
shit.
she's copium. I just like the card. I think she's fun. She's cool. That's why I play her. I play a game for fun.
Yeah, of course. I still.
I know she's dog shit.
I still think she's gonna be dog shit after this. I don't have any. I don't think you're gonna play her more after this. I think they should have made her a +2, and they should have made her like a 2/0 or 2/1 or something. I don't think that's outrageous because you have to get her at 2, and then you're drawing what? If you draw her on 2 and play her on 2, and if let's say she's a 2/0, then you're drawing what, 4 more cards? So it's a 2/8 at maximum. If you play those 4 cards, you have to play them, right?
Yeah.
Which you're probably not going to play all 4 of those cards that you draw. Maybe you do, but likely not. Of course, there's ways to cheat out cards with Thanos and stuff like that. But then, sure, then you got to fucking play Okoye in your deck.
Yeah,
it's I would have preferred that as making her, a playable, maybe a playable card. I don't even know if she'd be playable then. Maybe she would in some decks. I don't think this makes her any more playable, to be honest with you, in this current meta. I'm happy they did this. This was like the Emperor Hulkling change to me. It's like, all right, sure, they added a power, but it's gonna be still a fucking shit card. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a power on a 2/2 to a 2/3 is like a lot more which I know, kid, obviously, but
yeah, percentage wise, yeah.
Yeah, like the way the game's scaling and stuff. But still, I agree with overall what you're saying. If you've got to compare this to a card like Thena or something, right? Who pretty easily can get up to a 2-9, 212 even. It's instant. Get some magic, you get up to a 215 or something. Thena can do this, but it's very conditional. You have to play 2 cards every turn, and Okoye is like that too. I mean, like for her to really realize her whole power, you have to play. You have to draw her early. You have to play her early. Then you have to hit like fucking Black Panther or some shit, or Brood or something like that. And like that's the only way she's really going to realize her power. And even then, like the way she is now or the way she was before, the payoff isn't that much. You get a little bit of a boost. Like with the card Fastos, the cost reduction is really what you're looking for. The buff's kind of whatever, like it's all right, but you really want that cost reduction on a card like Fastos. And so with Okoye, like, say you play 2 cards, she's a 2/5, like this card sucks, So yeah, I actually did play a couple people coping with Okoye today, Okoye. But yeah, I played against like 2 or 3 Okoye matchups, like unironically. People trying out the new card, so they literally saw us like, all right, let's go. But because she is a fun card, right? Like I do like her effect, so I get it. But yeah, I think it's Copium, man.
I don't even think it affects that fun at +1, honestly. Like I liked coping with like fun cards for me were like 2-0 Grandmaster with Ravonna. Even though it was dog shit, that was fun to screw around with. 2-0 Adam Warlock was hilarious.
Yeah, Warlock.
It was hilarious to screw around with. I loved that card. That was great. And then you have this kind of when they have cards that release like Agent Venom, or just makes everything a 4 cost in your deck, like this kind of does nothing, right? Like a Bast can make this a 3. I know that you're ever playing Okoye with Bast or anything. Maybe. I don't know, man. I'm just saying shit. But like, what do they say? Like the cards like Scarlet Spider, like, man, this is not like, no. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, good job. You got your Scarlet Spider to a 4/6. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it. I think in order for this card to be remotely even playable, it needs to be a +2. And if they make it like a 2/4, which would be great stats for the card, it would be awesome. But then that's just even boring to me. Like,
yeah, because let's say the 2/4 version is good. Well, then people are just gonna play her in every deck, and like then it's just okay, it's a good card. It's like it's just overstated. Like it's like Copycat before, where it's like, all right, well I have to just fucking play Copycat, because she's just good stats and a good effect. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah, this card's just been. My point is, this card's just been bad for so long. I wouldn't have mind. I would have rather them swing for the fences with this one. This card has been in the game since inception. It's been bad the entire time. I mean, maybe early beta, I don't know, but like since I've been playing the game since almost 2 years now, it's been just a bad card. It's always been a bad card. It's never been good. 1 power in the way that the game's been power crept over the last 2 years is nothing, and it doesn't make the card more interesting, in my opinion. And it would have been nice for a +2. Then you could do stuff like this plus Grandmaster. That would have been wild, right? Then you have +4 to everything in your deck. Then you're getting some crazy shit happening. And then that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
But then you have to get that combo, and it's like, a lot of combo decks are ridiculous once you get the combos, but like,
you have to get the combo, and then you have to not get Shadow Kinged, or if you hit a Panther, you have to not get Shang-Chi. Like you're still not like winning the game for sure. You pump your deck +4. I mean, we see that with Agent Venom, right? If you play Agent Venom, who just does that by himself sometimes, you don't just win because you played it, So it's like, I agree. I would love to see it at the +2. I think that's would make the card actually fun and cool. What can you do? I'm happy they buffed it at least.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not even. I'm actually no. I'm not. I'm not happy they buffed it. I'm not happy they buffed it because this doesn't change anything, in my opinion.
You're saying they just wasted their time, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think they did. I don't think it's going to be played anymore. People are obviously going to cope for the next week.
Yeah, you're probably right because I'm coping, so I'm one of those people who's coping.
Yeah, you're playing it at 2/2. Like you're not going to play it any more at 2/3 than you did at 2/2. Let's be honest. You're going to put it in a couple of decks. You're going to be like, kid, look at this. You're going to send me some screenshots. Then you're going to fucking lose horribly for 2 days. Then you're going to be like, fuck this card, Shadow King's just better in the slot.
Oh, yeah. Shadow King owns this
K
card.
Bishop's just better in the slot. Like,
yeah.
There's so many cards just better in the slot than this card. So,
R.I.P. White Widow.
That's it. Yeah, I didn't say that card. That card's
White Widow might be worse.
the card might be on Dog Show Watch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, um, those are the OTAs. Oh, let me read this OTA analysis.
Oh god.
Well, it seems Hellcal pays. Actually, maybe this is Interrobang that wrote this. Actually, let's see his analysis on this.
Yeah, let's see what Interrobang I actually respect his opinion. So
Yeah, he does these articles on Untapped, so he writes their blogs. So his analysis is well, it seems Hellcow pays for Hella's sins this week, but the card was overtuned during the Activate launch. The benefits of staggered discard are still there, but the consistency has been scaled back a bit. The archetype hit heaviest, however, is Clog. The White Widow rework fundamentally warps the usefulness of the card, and it may not even be an auto include anymore. It's a not include in Clog because you're working against yourself. You're unclogging them. Like you're trying to clog their lanes. Once you clog their lane, the fucking Widow's Kiss gets destroyed. You're like helping them.
Yeah.
If White Widow does remain a staple of the deck, the play lines and strategies shift to reclogging a Widow's Kiss lane before the opponent has a chance to do it on their own terms, which could impact the effectiveness of your other turns. Yeah, basically just makes it shit.
Yeah, you got clog, then it dies, and you got to reclog. That's not. I mean, it's hard enough to just clog in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, yeah, that's the OTAs, everyone. A few head scratchers there, a couple of good changes and a couple head scratchers, and I guess overall, like, I guess when I read it this morning, I was like, oh, all right, that's kind of all right. Now that we've talked about it, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I'm kind of upset about this fucking OTA. I'm kind of like, I think it's a miss from them overall.
Yeah, especially after a week too. Like they, we had last week off, so they had 2 weeks to think about it, and this is what they came up with. I mean, it's a little bit sad.
And even for the people, like it's sad for the people that just got White Widow last week. Like they just got fucked, bro. Like,
yeah,
I feel bad for them.
Yeah, so those people might quit the game now.
Like everyone's running out of keys. Like, oh, I used my keys. I got, I got Scream. I got White Widow. I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, all of us would have said, "Hey, roll if you don't have White Widow." And then the other card's Man Thing. So it's like,
yeah,
you're just going for White Widow.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's talk about this card, which they haven't changed yet. It just came out a couple days ago. So hopefully it stays the way it is. Misery is a 4/7 on reveal. Repeat the on reveal abilities of your other cards here, then destroy them. So it just repeats the on reveal abilities. So if you have like 2 cards in the lane, one has an on reveal, one has a non on reveal, it'll only repeat the on reveal, and it's only going to destroy the on reveal card. It's not going to destroy all the cards in the game. Only the cards that it reactivates the on reveal abilities. If that makes sense. I know I said a bunch of word salad there, but that's it. And
it's Odin. It's just Odin, but the cards die.
Yeah, it's Odin. It's Odin, but the cards that it reactivates dies. So yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a 4/7, pretty damn good stat line. I don't, I'll speak for myself. I didn't really have high hopes for this card going in. I didn't think it was going to be that good. I thought it was going to be like, all right, just kind of like a filler card. Like, sure, maybe there'll be some niche decks. There's been some shit happening with Misery the last couple days. Like, there's been like a resurgence of Mill. I've seen Misery in Thanos decks. Mind you, they're not that great. They're still kind of gope.
Yeah, but it's cool though, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
You could get 3 draws. Like, this could redraw 3 cards. That sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's cool.
In theory, I mean, I don't know.
Misery and some Destroy lists, which is kind of cool.
And 2 Mind Stones. You get Mind Stone twice, and that sounds sick.
Yeah, no, it's been it's just Thanos sucks right now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Destroy lists. This has been cool. And then, even some of the Clog, like Toxic lists, it's been kind of cool. A Jet made which we'll talk about. He made a Toxic Phoenix Force deck that uses Misery. And it was really cool, too. And he did really good. He's number 2 in the world, of this time of this recording. He was playing that deck at high infinite, streaming it. And I think he had like a 70% win rate or something crazy. Like, or high 60% win rate with the Phoenix Force Misery deck. Cool card.
Yeah, shout out to Jeet, man. Jeet's the fucking goat, man. Shout out to Jeet.
Oh, guy's great. And then TLSG was playing it. You sent me a screenshot. You're like, oh, look at this deck TLSG's playing. I'm like, yo, Jet cooked that last night on stream. He was fucking clapping cheeks
there you go.
all night. It was sick. But yeah, White Widow's in that deck, so I don't know. We'll talk about that deck later. Unfortunately, White Widow might have to be cut. But yeah, I don't know. This card's kind of cool. I don't think it's OP. It's not shit. It's a cool effect. It's got good stats. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm thinking similar. Like going into this week, I was like, I'm probably gonna skip this card. Just before playing it. And look, I mean, the card. I mean, this pod comes out Sunday, but we're recording this on Thursday. Uh, like basically 2-3 hours after this card came out. Or no, sorry.
Bro,
I'm thinking about the OTAs. My bad, but because I'm thinking about White Widow playing this with White Widow. I mean, that's dead now. So we'll see how this card survives the White Widow nerf. But I was thinking about skipping this card, but then I checked the caches and Nemora's in there, and I don't have Nemora, so I haven't had like a cache in a really long time that has two cards that I don't own. So I'm pretty fired up. I mean, it's first world problems, but I'll take it. So yeah, I got it in 3 rolls. I'm pretty happy with that. And I've been pretty lucky the last couple weeks rolling spotlight caches. So happy to get the card. I've played it a little bit. I played a little bit of Mill, and I've played. Actually, that's all I've played. I've just played Misery only and a little bit of Mill, and I've been playing other stuff other than that. But even I'm playing against it a lot. The clog stuff seems really good, but I don't know if it'll still be good with White Widow. I think it's probably still will be because you still get the hood. You still got like Yondu and Mill and stuff. You still got like double Yondu, double Cable. I mean, this stuff's pretty strong. So pretty interesting card. But I do think it's skippable. I want to say that. Like I don't think this is a must own card. At least that's my first impression. It's only been out a couple days. I haven't played with it that much. But at the end of the day, like I give the design team a lot of credit. They designed a lot of really sick, cool, awesome cards. Like you think about Agent Venom and Scream last week. I mean, say which one of them already fucking nerfing Scream, but like the design of the card is sick, and the design of Agent Venom's sick. This card, there's literally 3 other cards in the game that do the exact same thing that this card does in a different way. Grandmaster does it, just got buffed. Odin is this exact card, but doesn't kill the cards. And then Absorbing Man, you just have to play it the turn before. So this is a 4th version of something that exists in the game already. Those are the kind of cards that I personally don't mind skipping. So I think it's really cool, interesting. I look forward to fucking around with it a little bit more. But it does again, like you said, doesn't seem broken, and I think it's skippable.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. For now, yeah, 2 days in, it seems like a card you can definitely skip, especially with like all the cool cards that came out last month, and it looks like the upcoming cards are pretty cool as well. Especially if you're like
Yeah,
a
the one
balanced
next
player.
week, the Scorn looks really sick. Toxin, Scorn, and Toxin are coming. Like those cards look amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, so like this card is skippable, but it is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Like it is a lot. It's performing a lot better, and I was on the same boat of you. I was probably going to skip it, but the only reason why I didn't was because I don't have Nemora, and I'm like I literally can't remember. Yes, this is first world problems. I know it is, but I can't remember the last spotlight cast where I got 2 cards.
Yeah.
Like it's been like a long time.
We got to get that value. We got to get the value when we can.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and so the next time will probably be like with speed or some shit. But yeah, I don't know. It's a cool card. It's a fun card. Yeah, let's there's been some cool decks. The ones we say we're only gonna talk about 2 decks, but like there's a lot more out there. There's some like weird like destroy hybrid decks like that just throw death in there. Like it's just cool. So here I'll talk about this one first. This is a Jet's Toxic Phoenix Force list. He went through a few iterations. White Widow is in this deck. It'll probably be cut. Honestly, we'll see. But you have the Hood, Iceman, Korg, Nico, Psylocke, White Widow, Grandmaster, Black Widow, Rockslide, Phoenix Force, Misery, Darkhawk. Psylocke.
Hold on, real quick, kid, before you get into it. Yeah. Now that you read it out, it is a little bit disingenuous calling this a toxic PF deck. This is a Darkhawk deck. This is a Darkhawk deck with some slight toxic and PF support added. This is a full-on Darkhawk deck, and which is great. It's a cool and interesting and intuitive and original way to build a Darkhawk deck. So it's a spicy Darkhawk deck. This is a fucking Darkhawk deck. That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just using Jet's name of the deck, all right? He called it Toxic PF. Everything in Jet's mind has to be a PF deck if it's got PF. So,
All right,
PF
fair.
PF comes first, and then Darkhawk comes second. Unless you're playing Nimrod, then in Jets' mind, those are Nimrod decks, not Phoenix Force decks.
Yeah.
But I digress. So Psylocke here is interchangeable. He was interchanging Psylocke with Shadow King depending on who he was playing and that kind of stuff. So I think Shadow King is in the deck as of right now. White Widow, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. White Widow might be cut. Then maybe
Shadow King.
yeah, you just put Shadow King in this spot,
keep Psylocke.
yeah, exactly. That's probably what's going to happen, honestly. But it was really cool because you do have like this disruption, like you have, and then what's her face? What's the 2/3 activate that makes everything 0? The
Black Swan.
Black Swan. Black Widow was in my head. I'm like, I couldn't think of the fucking name. Black Swan was in here originally, and then that got cut. But yeah, in the original iteration. So yeah, you have all these targets are pretty fucking awesome for Misery. You have the Hood, Hood. You get another demon. Iceman, you're cucking their hand a little bit. Korg, you're making another rock for Darkhawk. You start stacking these in one lane, destroy them with Misery. Like you're just like your hands are getting sick. Nico is an interesting one because if you double Nico, if you get like the double Nico, then you play Misery, doubles it again, bring Phoenix Force back, doubles it again. So you get these like wild power Nikos for no reason with the Phoenix Force. And then the obviously the Darkhawk stuff. You have Korg, Rockslide, and Darkhawk are in here. One of the most toxic things that this deck can do, and it happens more often than not, is you play Black Widow on 3. Whatever you do on turn 1 and 2, it doesn't matter. You play Black Widow on 3. You play Misery on 4 on the Black Widow. Black Widow first gives you a Widow's Bite, then they have to play the Widow's Bite. Play Misery on 4. You get another Widow's Bite. You play Phoenix Force on 5. You get a third fucking Widow's Bite. And it's just a good game. Like, there's nothing they can do. Like, it's just... I've seen it happen multiple times. Obviously, it's not, like, common for that to happen. But, like, man, oh, man, is it just, like... is it just a fucking nightmare when that happens? Anything...
Yeah, there's another way you can do that, too. You do Black Widow. Then on turn 4, you do Grandmaster. And then on turn 5, you could do like Misery Hood or like Hood Misery or something, or Iceman Misery, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then so that's still 3 Widow's Bites, even without the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, and Phoenix Force is just like a support kind of card in here. Like it's just a tech almost, not like a tech, but like it's just like a support card. It's not the main focus of the deck. Darkhawk's your main power, but you are trying to mess with their hand and stuff like that. White Widow is even great to like. Oh man, what a hit White Widow took, man. Fuck, like White Widow, like Grandmaster the White Widow, like Misery the White Widow. Bring Phoenix Force back a White Widow was sick because you're clogging them. Not anymore, but like that was pretty cool. And then anything you Phoenix Force back is pretty awesome too. Like Nico Phoenix Force back is insane, depending on Nico's ability. And then you don't really mind.
Rockslide is pretty good.
Yeah, Rockslide's good. Korg's good. Iceman's good. Like you don't really mind. Even like the Hood, it just turns into the Nightcrawler. It just turns into a Nightcrawler basically. Which is like not what you want. But then you get a demon. You get another demon out of it. So it's pretty sweet. It's a really fun deck. It worked a lot better than like anyone kind of thought it was. He just kind of kept winning, and it was great. So yeah. Give this deck a try. I don't know if it's fuck. I don't know. White Widow just kind of screws everything, but yeah.
Maybe we could find something for the White Widow. I might mess around with this.
I like Shadow King. Shadow King was great.
Yeah,
the most recent one he had Shadow King, so it's a great card.
Yeah, so we can maybe just go Psylocke, Shadow King. Even another Psylocke sounds interesting. You're playing demons, you can get an extra card. Play it out because you have an extra energy with Psylocke. Like you kill Psylocke with Misery. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I think one of the kind of genius things with this deck, with the Phoenix Force, is like kind of reminds me of how discard players, like I thought, like this reminds me a lot of the card Ghost Rider. Like the same way, it just never occurred to me that Phoenix Force is like the Ghost Rider of the Destroy archetype, which is like I just never like thought of, right? Like Ghost Rider brings back your discarded card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Phoenix Force is like the same thing, but I just never thought of it because to me it's just like it's always a Phoenix Force deck. It's always a multiple man. It's always a human door. It's basically a move card, I always look at Phoenix Force like a move card, but in this deck he's using it as the Ghost Rider of the fucking Destroy archetype. And Misery destroys your stuff, and then you bring it back with Phoenix Force. like you would with a Ghost Rider if you discard something and then bring it back. So I think that's pretty sick actually, and it still on reveal still goes off, and Phoenix Force gets the power. You can move it around. You basically just have a vision, maybe even a bigger card than vision, right? And I don't know, that's pretty sick. So that's actually like just genius to build and a way to look at it. I've never seen a deck like this before.
Yeah, no, it's
Like
really
a Dark Hawk deck with Phoenix Force. I've never seen that in
yeah,
my
me
life.
either. It's really cool. Like
Yeah.
mind you, there's only like two ways to destroy stuff. That's Misery and Nico. You
Mhm.
randomly get Nico, but aside from locations, but still, it's kind of cool.
But
It
that's kind of
works.
similar to like that's what I mean. Like it's like a think about a Black Knight deck, right? A lot of those
Yeah,
decks just run Blade and Lady Sith, and that's it. And they have Ghost Rider in there, right? So then
yeah.
you kind of know like what you're bringing back, right? It's a little more targeted that way. Like if you're killing a bunch of shit, who knows what Phoenix Force is gonna pop? You could kind of control it a bit more here. So pretty sick, man. Pretty sick stuff.
Yeah, and you're not mad about bringing back any of these cards, honestly. Like you're kind of happy about almost all of them. Like they all do something really good, except for White Widow. But now. But yeah, that'll have to be changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a cool deck. Different use of Misery, and it's really really fun. Let's talk about yours. You got into some destroy action here.
Yeah, I've been meaning to play some Destroy since Aranya came out. I mean, I played a little bit with Atuma, but there was so much going on with the Madam Web and War Machine, and there was just so much crazy shit going on when they did this Atuma change that I didn't get to play as much Destroy as I wanted. Like, also they changed Destroyer, and I wanted to mess around with that with Nimrod, all this shit, Nimrod, Shuri with the Aranya. I was doing all kinds of shit, So I never got like what just play a normal ass Destroy deck. So I mean, the reason I was playing it, and now this deck may not be great anymore because everyone was playing fucking Clog. I figured Misery's going to come out, and everyone's going to be playing Clog because this is the very obvious thing to do, and that's exactly what happened. This deck has over 70% win rate, like over 20 games. Not like crazy amount of games, like 25, 30 games, like 72% win rate, something like that. Just absolutely smashing. It's a completely standard destroy deck. So these are the cards I'm trying out. Aranya, Deadpool, Nico, X-23, Carnage, Wolverine, Killmonger, Venom, Deathlock, Atuma, Null, Death, and that's it, man. There's nothing like super fancy. Trying out the Atuma, trying out. I had a Hulkbuster instead of Wolverine in the original build, but I ended up and that was actually working okay. But it's obviously like just super all in on the Deadpool if you're doing that. I think Wolverine gives you a little more. Wolverine works a little bit better with Atuma specifically. Sometimes he just bounces into the Atuma lane, and you just get a free pop on your Wolverine. So like that's always really fun. Yeah, man, this deck is unbelievable against Clog. Nobody's playing the card Armor. Some people are playing Cosmo, so you just got to dodge Cosmo. Juke and Jive if you can. Killmonger's pretty good at dodging Cosmo. And then nice thing with Cosmo is if you can dodge it, you could just like slam your null there on 6. Like it just Cosmo can protect your cards too, right? Because all your cards are susceptible to Shang-Chi, and some of them even Shadow King. So you just put that in the Cosmo lane and you're okay. So yeah, man, Destroy is still very good, is what I found. This is around like 4K Infinite. When it was 72% win rate. So yeah, man, it was fun.
Yeah, I love how you started off with it's just your standard destroy list. Aranya, first card you fucking named.
Well, I think he's like the new Forge, right?
Yeah,
So Aranya is basically just the old Forge, right? So it's basically standard. Remember, we used to that slot used to just be a 1-cost Forge. It's the
yeah.
same shit. +2.
No,
It's
I
a
know.
Forge.
I just thought that's funny.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the
Yeah.
decks you make is that like you always have one card that's so like off fucking kilter and like not in there, and I just love it so much. It's great. Like your
Yeah,
high,
Aranya's
like your tribunal, you just had a fucking Ant-Man in there. It's fucking great.
it's ongoing card.
I loved it. I loved getting massive Ant-Mans with onslaught. People don't
Yeah, it's
expect it.
hilarious.
It's hilarious. But yeah, Destroy is pretty good. The more I like think about it, the more like Destroy like seems like a really good deck right now, which is good. I like when Destroy is good. And then Atuma is a fun card in here, right? You can destroy your Deadpool, Wolverine, X-23, anything.
Yeah, you could go on. You could go over top of like a Hella deck, and even these like little Venom decks, the Asian Venom decks. Like this deck obviously can go over top. So, like it always has been able to, right? So it's just a matter of are people teching against you? And I mean, just people's tech right now is like, I want to clog your lane. So yeah, Destroy's pretty good against that.
Yeah, I have this this is kind of like doesn't not to do with these kind of decks or anything, but like I have this one deck that I made just for like the destroy quests and the alliance stuff. So like it's got like Shayna or Shanna, whatever, Killmonger, Squirrel Girl. I'm just trying to make a bunch of shit and then destroy them. Then I have like Death and Null in there as well. And like it wins a surprising amount of fucking games, like just with Death and
Yeah,
Null in the final turn. Like I don't
yeah.
try and win the games. I just like I'm just trying to destroy all the fucking cards.
Destroy 8 cards or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
And at the end, I sometimes happen to get like Death and Null. I'm just like, all right, and then what I'm trying to say is like, even my bullshit, like not even trying to have a destroy deck. Like I won a Silver Conquest last week, just doing a fucking my dumb quest, and I'm trying to lose. I'm trying to like lose. I'm trying to get as many games as possible just to get the alliance quest, and I'm winning like these fucking 8 cubers and shit. And I'm like, what the hell? All right, I guess I'll take it.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So I think destroy's in a good spot right now.
Mhm.
But yeah. All right, let's close out with one more thing. Let's talk about
Wait, didn't you have one other misery deck kid? Wasn't there two? Or am
no,
I crazy?
no. This was the
Not to derail you, but
didn't you have a
uh,
misery deck? No, no, that was
no,
the
I
only,
thought you said you had two or something.
no, that was the only one. That was the only one I've been playing. Honestly,
Okay.
it's only been 2 days. I've only played this one. I probably
Yeah.
will try some other ones like the mill. The mill seems mill's a fun
I
deck.
played a little bit of Mill Destroy, like the Mill one with like it's like a Death Wave. It's like an old squirrel. It's got Squirrel Girl and Death in it as well. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to talk about. Do you want to give a while I pull this up? Do you want to give a layman rundown of like the split changes?
Okay, I mean I'll do my best. I'm not super well versed in this
I know
topic,
that's why
but
I want you to say it because I'm gonna laugh.
yeah. Okay, so the way I understand it is second dinner have these split percentages, and the way they want, they've said this. Somebody asked them about this on Discord, and the team at second dinner said, "Hey, we want gold and ink splits to be 10% chance. So when you split a card, roughly 10% chance to either get a gold or an ink split." And as far as we know, you know the way people, the people who are just got real sweaty, real into the spreadsheets, or did data mining and testing and collected a shit ton of data, have pretty much found that pre August 20th, it has not been 10%. In fact, it's been around 23% to either get a gold or an ink split, which we're speculating is a bug. Now, on August 20, the reason we're even talking about this is because there was a patch, and the people of Marvel Snap have realized that, wait a second, we're getting ink split because they added they added prisms to the game on August 20th. That was the prism patch. So the first patch, they really even touched the splits at all. So they added prism, which cool, it's a cool split. But now instead of 23%, we're getting like 16%, which is a massive drop off on golden ink splits. And people are pretty pissed off about this. Feel like we're getting duped out here. We're getting duped on the OTAs. We're getting duped on the splits now too. The vibes are not great, kid. But we're still having fun. We're doing our best. But the vibes, from what I can tell, is bad vibes right now. So that's my layman
Yeah,
explanation.
that was a very good explanation actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they have on the Discord of second dinner saying that like ink and gold is supposed to be around 10%. I think they said this like almost 2 years ago now. Like what like this was early. This wasn't. I don't think this was recent. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was very, very, very early because we knew like 2 years ago the splits were supposed to be like 10%, right? But they've been, like you said, 23.5%. Shout out to Lauren Whatevs and Snap Variants for collecting all data, doing all this math and everything. But yeah, so I have it. The data's up on the screen right now, but you can go to Lauren Whatevs on Twitter.
Real quick derail, but on the topic of Lauren Whatevs, also shout out to Devilish Plays and Lauren Whatevs for getting Scarlet Spider to work. They tagged me on Twitter. If you play it with Hulkbuster, apparently it fucking works. So you could Hulkbuster your Scarlet Spider, then symbiote the Hulkbuster, and then that gives you like an 18 power Scarlet Spider, which is what I kind of wanted in the first place. They figured out a way. So shout out to Devilish and shout out to Lauren for clip hunting and grinding it out and getting that shit to work. You're the best, Lauren. I love it.
She did it. She did it with Phoenix Force after too. You should see that clip. Well,
Oh, I haven't seen
she
that
got
one. That's
all
hilarious.
four of them. Like it was Phoenix Force on top of all those. Wild.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, no, it's so sick. But yeah, these splits. So before it was, and like why is this a big deal? Like or why are people making it a big deal? Like you said, like oh, okay, it's just splits. Who gives a fuck? Like it's supposed to be like this. The reason why it's a big deal for some people, and I I do like I do spend money on the game. I do like to split cards. But like
Mhm.
I don't spend a ton just going into splitting things, but a lot of people do that.
Some people do,
They
yeah.
post on Twitter, like it's cool, like it's honestly it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
And so before the patch, they're used to a certain percentage. After the patch, if people are spending money splitting cards, which you can do, you can split cards with gold. You buy gold for
Yeah.
money. People have been buying gold just to split cards with that gold that they purchased. Their rates for the split are a lot fucking less, and no one said anything. So they're
Mhm.
getting fucked spending money basically, getting a lot less than what they have been accustomed to for the last like year and a half or whatever it is.
They're not getting what they paid for.
Yeah,
They used to, and they and nobody told them basically.
yeah. A precedent was set, right? Like a
Yeah.
precedent was set, which like they can expect a certain amount of splits, a certain amount of crackle and that kind of stuff after a little after amount. Obviously there's variance, but yeah. And then like no one said anything, and this happened, and second dinner. I take them at their word. I'm not going to wear a tinfoil hat on this one.
Mhm.
People are going to be like, oh, they knew they were changing the splits. They said something fucking happened with the code. They had no idea that the splits changed. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. I'll take them at their word. What they didn't know, but they're gonna change. They're gonna eventually compensate. Now the reason why I'm bringing this up is not because I give too much of a shit about this. I think it's really cool that they're these people did, like Lauren would have Snap Variants did this. The reason why I want to talk about this is because they're gonna boost the fuck out of splits pretty soon.
Mhm.
From like a time probably within the next couple of weeks. Just look out on social media or whatever. They're going to post it. And then your splits are going to be like, so the upcoming boost to get an ink or gold is going to be 35% of the time. So
Oh
15.
shit.
So look at the chart here. The upcoming boost is in purple here on the screen. Rainbow or prism is going to be 15%, and then ink or gold is going to be 35% on split 5 or above. So
Mhm.
it's still you have to do on split 5 or above to get the ink or gold. That has not changed, but it's pretty fucking wild that it's going to be if you split a card more than 5 times, 35% of the time it's going to be ink or gold, and then 35% of the time it's going to be crackle flare. So
You know what I kind of hate about this kid? I know
what?
you're getting excited, but I'm looking at my Marvel Snap screen on my second monitor here. There's a 10K cap on credits.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to bank up 30K credits for this and just fucking rip a bunch of god splits, Because that's what I would do. Like I'm thinking about my Infinite. I still got default Infinite, but I got like 1400 boosters on them. Like I'd love to just once I got my Infinite, I'm gonna be out of credits. It
So
kind of sucks.
so here's the tech, which is where I'm getting at, and this is
Okay.
why I wanted to talk about this.
Okay.
You need to split everything now. Not
Mhm.
split everything. Sorry, you need to upgrade everything now to
Mhm.
infinite. Upgrade it all
Mhm.
to infinite. Leave them all at infinite, and then when this boost goes live, split them all, and you're gonna get the higher rates.
But do you have to split 5 times? So not even just going infinite. That's just one split,
Well,
right?
I don't know. It depends how many splits you have on the card already, right? Like, how many
Yeah,
times
yeah.
have you split infinite?
Zero.
Then yeah, you're fucked on that card.
Well, I have. I mean, I could split it 5 times. Like I have the credits.
Yeah, well then you could do that if you want.
Yeah.
You can split it 4 times and then save it on the fifth one. Save it for what's it called? Save it, keep it at infinite, and then split it after. But yeah,
Yeah, I guess I would
on
have to
any
do
other
that.
card, like there's a lot of people in this game that playing this game for a long time. Like fucking Carnage, I have like I don't know 20, 30 splits. Like Phoenix Force, I probably have like 40 or 50 fucking splits. Like so I just you level up all the variants. You don't even need boosters because you can use the stupid booster shop. And
Wouldn't it be better to go to Ultra, kid? You go to Ultra first instead of Infinite.
why?
Well, like if you already have 5 splits on it,
No, you go to infinite. You just don't split it. You don't click the split button.
Oh, you just don't click split. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all the variants you have of that, upgrade them all to
Mhm.
infinite level, and then when this
Mhm.
boost goes live, click split, and then you're gonna have the
Mhm.
increased rate.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, and yeah,
So
actually,
I basically I'm not gonna click the fucking split button on anything I have 5 or more.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there have been some people that have been vocal about the this is not going to pertain to 99.999% of Snap players, but there have been some people that have been vocal about the 10,000 credits.
Mhm.
And okay, I do think there should be more than 10,000. That's kind of fucking stupid. Make it 20, 30. Like, let us just
Yeah,
fucking
give me
have credits.
20K. What the hell are we doing? Yeah,
But
that's like
like
one. I guess like that's 5 splits right there.
the
I'm done my 5 splits after 10K.
the thing that doesn't apply to people is like the what's it called, those like little collection track bonuses where like you get like 100 credits for free, and then like it's 4.99 to get like 800 credits, those little
Mhm.
things that come up every like week or so, you know
Like the daily
though,
quests,
the
or what are you talking?
reward, like the reward tracks or whatever, like the vibranium reward track or whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
where you get,
yeah,
like free credits. You get like a free 100, and then like it eventually
yeah,
gets paid. Okay, so
yeah.
the most recent one, if you whaled out the whole thing, you get like
Mhm.
80,000 credits.
Mm.
So some people were like, "Hey, I whaled out on the whole fucking thing. I have 80,000 credits, like, but now I can't do my dailies because like I'm fucking capped, and
Yeah,
like
you have to
I have
spend
like
them all.
8 times the limit, and I gotta fucking." I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Yeah, it's weird.
again, that doesn't pertain to 99.9% of people, but like, yeah, I agree with them. Like, what the hell are we doing with only 10,000 fucking credit cap?
I mean, I know what we're doing. They're trying to make money, but it's fucking greasy.
Yeah,
We can at least point out that it's greasy and it doesn't feel good as the player of the game.
yeah, I don't. I think it's greasy and doesn't feel good, but I would like it if it was like 20 or 30 or something. At least start there.
Yeah.
I like it if it
Mhm.
was uncapped and just like I can just fucking build up credits and save them and spend them whenever the hell I want. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they don't want that. They want you to spend your shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, so once this goes live in the next week or two ish, that's just a guess on my part. 35% ink, 35% gold, 35% crackle, and 25% of the time you'll get a god split, which is
Mhm.
ink or gold plus crackle. So
Mm.
1 in 4 will be ink or gold plus crackle.
Mhm.
Pretty nuts. Yeah, so the cards that you've split for a long time, that you've like, if you have a favorite card that you've split a lot and you don't have like a good, like a nice gold or a nice ink or something, this is like the time to do it. Is like, now you can have the card, it's going to look really cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyways, so yeah, and also all that being said, all the bullshit aside, in a lot of countries, it's with the way app stores are set up, it's illegal to do this, to change rates of stuff, of like quote unquote loot boxes, which is what these would kind of almost probably be considered, without
Mhm.
telling the population, because people actually spend money. Now a lot of it is
Mhm.
free credits, right? A lot of people are doing free, so
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see secondaries compensation. They're doing this as
Mhm.
part of the compensation, and they said this is just one thing they're going to do. So they left it open to, they'll probably, people that have been splitting after the patch, where like before they like realized that this fucking thing changed, there's going to be
Mhm.
some compensation, most likely. Who knows what that is? So there's also something to be said, though, if you want to YOLO split a bunch now and you think you're going to get compensated more, then
It's sad that strategy has worked
it's
in the
worked
past,
all the time.
because I always never do it, and then they always get like way more if you would have YOLO'd.
Yeah.
So I'm still not gonna do it. I guess that's my personality, but
No, I'm not
I'm
going to
not
do it.
afraid to take risks, but this seems like a dumb risk. Like I like to
No,
take
I'm
big
gonna wait. I'm
calculated
I'm
risks.
just I'm just boosting stuff slowly right now to get infinite, and then
Yeah.
once this upcoming boost goes live, I'm just gonna click split on all of them, and then
Mhm.
see what I get, which it'll be
Yeah, I'm
cool.
gonna do the same as you. I'm gonna look at cards that I already have 5 splits, or I have enough boosters to get to 5 splits, and then yeah, just split them all once and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
but just don't actually split them before this goes live.
No, yeah, once the boost goes, then boom, 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 and
Yeah,
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 maybe get some. I like it because it'd be fun to get some god splits.
yeah. It's cool. It's cool to do that. It's
Mhm.
a fun part of the game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Even though it's completely meaningless to the gameplay itself, but like it's a fun to do that shit. But yeah,
Yeah, it does enhance your visuals on your
yeah,
gameplay
it's
though.
fun. Yeah, no big deal. What do you gotta say to the people, my bro?
I'm sorry for being depresso, about the game today. I usually come in here fired up, happy, but we gotta keep it real. We gotta keep it real with the people. The kid, no big deal. We're honest. If we're not one thing, we're honest. We're not afraid to call out the bullshit. So, hey, this is one of those bullshit weeks. I still think the game's fun. I'll still be playing. Filthy Casual chat's been awesome. Oh, shout out to Filthy Casuals. That's what I'll say. Shout out to Filthy Casuals. We got the fucking variant last week, boys. Let's go.
Yeah,
we got
true.
that variant. 120k. Shout out to Spec, who got like 12k on his own. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, first week we got the 120,000 because like we honestly like just fucking casual hell in there, and then we got some heroes in there which were awesome. So that was great, and there was like a last ditch effort too. It was like within the last hour. I know. I saw in there. I was like, oh shit! I grinded a few hundred out for the time right now.
It's by far the most I've ever played in a week as far as alliances go. I've never played that much. I've never done that much bounty. So yeah, I mean, for me, I don't think I was over like 4K. It wasn't that crazy, but for me, that was a lot.
Yeah, Agent Venom was fun, and Scream Week was fun. It was great. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to the Filthy Casuals. It's great. Just have fun out there. The OTAs, honestly, yeah, they're kind of a little shitter to me too. Like I don't like any of them. I don't know if I'm gonna be happy about it. I guess we'll see. But the main decks that I play, it doesn't affect too much, and it's still gonna. I'm still having fun with the game, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. This OTA was a fucking head scratcher. Usually I like coming in here and I get fired up, like you said. At least for some of the changes. The changes they buffed felt weak to me. They didn't, and the nerfs felt like pretty heavy-handed. So. Or unnecessary. Viper, once again, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, at least if I could try to be optimistic about it, because we shit on it all episode. Hella and Clog were two of the top decks, so maybe something fun will happen in the meta where we get a bunch of new decks. Because I mean, those decks got massively hit. So what do the meta look like with no Clog and no Hella? Who knows?
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. And yeah, until next time. Peace.